much, and I'd like to welcome you all to our February Board of Education meeting, and also those of you that may be joining us on the social media platform. And I'd like at this time to call the meeting to order, and let it be known that all board members and the superintendent are present. So, to get us started, would you join me for a moment of silence? Thank you very much. If you're able, to stand and join me in saying the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. You may be seated. And item C is to adopt the agenda.
But Jerry, before you do that,
I'm sorry.
we had an item that arrived today. It's a very simple item. Last month you approved the JAG MOU for the high school. We received the JAG MOU today for the middle school. With y'all's permission, I want to amend the agenda to add that as an item in our action agenda.
Okay, y'all, you heard the superintendent's recommendation. Would somebody make a motion to add that to our agenda?
I move that we add the JAG middle school to the agenda.
Okay, thank you. You've heard the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, let me know by lifting your hand. All board members were in favor. The agenda is adopted now. Could I hear a motion to adopt the agenda as amended?
I'll make a motion to adopt.
Dr. Lamb made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Smith seconded. All in favor, let me know by lifting your hand. All board members were in favor. The amended agenda is adopted. Next is communications and recognitions, and the first recognition is down schools and down office and equipment staff of the month.
Yes, sir. Each month we have the opportunity to do this, and this month we're getting to recognize our Family Resource and Youth Service Center staff. So if they will come forward. Angie Wagner, Hannah Davis, Kim Daly, Angie Brooks, India Harvey, and Katie Hammond all work as part of the Family Resource and Youth Service Center for Garrard County. The Family Resource and Youth Service Center staff serve a vital role in Garrard County schools. These ladies frequently see our students at some of their most vulnerable times when the student and family may not have food, clothes, or shelter. Unfortunately, at times when loss of a family member or even a student has occurred. The help and support they provide can literally be life-changing. In addition, while you may find them working in one of our buildings, you might also find them working in the community to secure support for both our students and our staff. They might be securing extra funds to make it possible for a student to attend prom or for a class to take a field trip that wasn't expected or budgeted for. They could just as easily be helping organize and implement a family or community night, helping deepen and solidify the relationship between school and community. These 6 individuals help make school better for our students and our staff, and we're thankful and grateful that they change lives every day. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Next is the Garrard County Schools Whitaker Bank Teacher of the Month. And for February, our Teacher of the Month is Ms. Tisha Weaver. In her brief 2 years of service as the talented and gifted teacher, she's transformed the landscape of our gifted education within our schools, creating unique and enriching experiences for students across all levels. Through her leadership and her dedication, Ms. Weaver has fostered collaboration among students of different age groups, facilitating mentorship opportunities, that not only empower our older students, but also inspire and uplift the youngest members of our gifted community. She also has an innovative approach that has expanded horizons beyond the classroom, providing students with real-world field trips and showcase events to proudly exhibit their projects and accomplishments. Her commitment to excellence ensures that every student, regardless of background or ability, has the chance to shine, and we're proud to say that she's going to be presenting at the upcoming Kentucky Association of Gifted Education State Conference. Her tireless advocacy and transformative work embody the spirit of our district, and we couldn't be prouder to have her leading the charge of gifted education. Congratulations. Next is the Garrard County Schools and Farmers National Bank Students of the Month, and we have 2 months to recognize because we didn't get to do January, so we're going to do both January and February for each school tonight as we work our way through. So let's enjoy the experience. Our first one from January at CDR is Maya Martinook, a first grade student. So we'll get Maya her stuff. Second from CDR for February is Vitali Tishuk. So we'll get Vitali his stuff. But let's move on to Lancaster then. From January, Mason Lovins. So we're 3 for 3. For February from Lancaster, Landon Gaffney. There we go. Landon is a 5th grader, and he's beyond deserving of recognition. He's exceptionally bright, talented, motivated, hardworking, kind, thoughtful, and determined. If at first he doesn't understand something that's taught, he asks questions, observes, listens, and tries again. He never gives up and is always looking to succeed. That kind of drive earns him success in the classroom, and we know that will carry on to wherever life takes him. Not only does he work hard and achieve his goal, but he brings others with him. Landon is always looking for someone to help, whether it be explaining something to a friend or making someone smile who needs it. We're certainly proud of him and glad that he's a Leopard. Congratulations, Landon. We'll catch up. From Paint Lick from January, Silver Blackburn. Silver is a 1st grade student at Paint Lick, and Silver is such a hard worker. She comes to school every day ready to try her best at everything she does. She's a great role model to others by always doing what's right and having a positive attitude. She's also a kind and caring friend to everyone in class. Silver has a heart of gold, and we have learned to watch how much progress she has made throughout the year. We're proud of Silver and happy that she is part of the Paint Lick team. Congratulations, Silver. From Paint Lick for the month of February, Kendall McLean. No? Okay. For January, from Garrard Middle School, Keziah McWhorter. Keziah is always respectful and serves as a role model for others. In all instances, she tries her best, goes above and beyond to make sure she's learning and succeeding. In addition to her academic and behavioral successes, she's a strong participant in extracurricular activities. GMS is thankful to have her as part of the student body. Congratulations. From January, from Garrard County High School, Jade Moore. Jabe is a senior and is an outstanding candidate for Student of the Month. He exhibits leadership, enthusiasm, and is a prime example of grit. Jabe leads by example on the field and off. If you've ever seen him play, you would agree that he gives everything he has. He has the potential to earn 18 credits in dual credit classes and is currently participating in a business internship. He always has a smile on his face, is always eager to help, and GCHS is thankful to have Jay because of his dedication and for the high expectations he sets for others to follow. Congratulations, Jay. For February, from GCHS, Emery Dunn. I think we've had somebody from CDR who has made it in. Maya Martineau. Maya's a first grade student at CDR, and she's an exceptional student. She's a hard worker, always strives to do her very best. She's a sweet, wonderful friend to her classmates. She's always willing to help them if they need it. Maya tries to be on her best behavior at all times and is an excellent role model for her peers. Maya is an awesome, amazing Bobcat at CDR. Congratulations, Maya. From Paint Lick, February, Kendall McLean. Kendall's a kindergarten student at Paint Lick and is a joy to teach. She comes in each day with a smile or a story to share and is always eager to learn something new. Kendall always tries her best and is very neat with her work. She's kind and a good friend to everyone. Kendall is a great PLE Panther, and we're lucky to have her in our buildings. Congratulations, Kendall.
Any more? Any more come in late?
Vitali?
Oh,
All right. Vitali Tishuk from CDR. Vitali's a kindergartner, and he is a awesome Bobcat. He is always prepared and ready to learn. He's kind and respectful to his peers. He's always willing to lend a hand and help. He works hard and has a positive attitude, and he's a great role model for his peers, and he's a great student to have in class. Congratulations, Vitali. I'm convinced our principals set me up by doing this, so I want to thank them publicly for creating this unique experience tonight. Did we miss anybody? All right.
All right. Item B is site-based decision-making minutes. I hope my colleagues have had an opportunity to go over those. Item C is audience comments. Do we?
No, sir.
No audience. Item B is board member comments. Does any board member have anything they'd like to share?
I might say this, just, I know on the coldest day that we had, and come by the high school, and I look, and they're actually out there in that weather, bless their hearts, working on that bleachers. And so I'd like to compliment all those guys that they acted like it's springtime out there. and I was freezing to death, and so we really appreciate the efforts they're giving to.
Well, y'all tell me those guys were from New York and they were used to it.
That was spring weather for them.
Anybody else? All right, we come to item E, superintendent, you have anything you'd like to share with us?
So you have on your, in front of you tonight, a one-pager connected to the 2023 winter high-ready growth. We've linked that. I have it up on the screen as well. We wanted to point out a couple of things. We told you that we would keep you informed of how our staff is progressing with our students. And what you will see is a division of the iReady results in both reading and in math. And you'll see it divided into quadrants, and you'll see a cluster representing our schools. What you'll see in both areas is significant growth, and you'll see our winter growth from fall to winter in reading was at 75%, which is above the median percentage, and 69% in math. You'll also see that we're progressing not only toward high growth, but high performance. So the quadrant that we're hoping to land in is the upper right-hand quadrant. And again, you'll be able to see that our school's moving aggressively that way. That means our staff, I believe, is working exceptionally hard to catch students from where they are. That growth to me speaks to the fact that we're continuing to move away from a conversation that connects back to COVID in any way. This is our students are progressing to a spot where we no longer have to have a conversation about that. The good news about that is that we had a responsibility to make sure that those students were being caught up for things that they may have lost during that period of time. And our staff's doing a great job with that. So as you read through, there'll be some additional information that you can see as you make your way through. There's some highlights that are listed there. We'll continue to update you on how this is going. If this type of growth continues, when we have our state assessment in the spring, I think we'll have some great news to report back to you based on what's going on. You'll see at the bottom the next steps. We continue to want to work on our standards, the curriculum, the assessment alignment, and quality control that, and we'll continue to work on this point. I don't ever want to suggest that we've arrived, but I think we're pointing in a very good direction. I think the staff is doing a phenomenal job, and I can't do anything but compliment them for the hard work that they're doing. And when I say our staff, I mean our teachers, our instructional assistants who are in the classroom every day making things happen with our students. So I just want to give a shout out to them for the work that they're doing.
Thanks, sir. Item 2.
The next one is you have an opportunity tonight to hear from Ms. Sydney Arnold. She's going to share some information from the world of public relations. You have a handout from her as well that you should have on your in front of you, and we're going to run a clip that has no sound to it, so you'll be able to see and hear while she's talking. So, Ms. Arnold.
All right, so I'm just giving a little mid-year update from the PR, Visible Tech, community engagement world. And first I wanted to talk about our co-op team, because without them and without the help that they are providing in this area, none of the other things we talked about tonight are going to happen. So they play big roles, and I wanted you to be able to see those on here and to kind of see their faces, put names with faces in their roles. So you've got Kiana Childers, and they've all been assigned to schools. So there's 5 of them, all but one, and we'll talk about what he does. But Kiana's at LES, and she does weekly school visits for content, and she is responsible for our game day graphics. So they all have a little bit of piece to athletics to them, just because that is what they enjoy and that's what they're really good at. And so she does a great job at that. Peyton is our high school student worker, and she goes there weekly to get content for our social media and our website. And she is a great writer, and so she is writing news pieces for our website, even some that we send into the paper. And so she is getting some recognition that way. Sarah is at the middle school. She does her weekly visits, but she is also really great at organization. So she does a lot of our organizing of student collaborative projects that we do. So like our JAG Pen Pals, where our high schoolers write our elementary students, she's the one behind the scenes making that happen. And then JT is a little bit different. He's not assigned to a school, but he's our athletic guy. And so you'll see him at athletic events across the district taking pictures and gathering that content for our website and our social media. And then Kinsey's at Paint Lick, and she does her weekly visits, and she is our website girl. She likes to work behind the scenes on that, and she's really great about keeping things up to date. Her number one priority is the staff section of the website. So as we make all of these new hires each month, she actually goes on the agenda from the board and takes those names and updates our staff and our email groups and things like that. So I wanted to talk to you about them first because, again, we're so grateful that we get that program because they do offer a lot to the PR world and to our website and our social media and our schools. And without you guys, we wouldn't have them. So I wanted you guys to kind of meet them and see what they do. And then we can talk about how it impacts the district a little bit more. So the next page that you had was the social media update for the school year so far. And this is just something, I wanted to put it in this template because there's 6 stories that you get to see on here. And this is what parents and staff get to see each month. So this is just a snippet of what we put out. We try to put out at least 1 post a day, usually 1 to 3 posts a day. And so this is just 6 pulled from August to February. And these are some of our top performing posts that you get to see. Now on the staff, it comes in an email newsletter and they get this content that way. Parents actually get a text instead of an email, and it's a PDF that they have clickable links. So they can click out to read more about each of these stories, and it will take them to our social media. So if they're not already followers, it just takes them there so that they can follow. But I wanted you to see, oh, and I have mine mixed up. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Yes, this is the page you're going over. I want you to see these stories because I included the reach on them. And I want to talk to you guys about the reach because it's really significant from our following base. And so I want to show how important social media is for our district, as well as our website. But I wanted to talk about social media first because it really plays an important role. And so there's some key terms on this page that I wanted to talk about first, and that is just reach, followers, and profile visits. So our followers are, of course, accounts that have liked our page, and those are people that are constantly seeing what we put out. So if you're a follower of the social media sites, then you see when we make a post, usually that same day. The reach is how many accounts your content has been through. So how many accounts has seen your content is your reach. And then your profile visits are people who actually search Garrard County Schools and click on your profile, and that can be through Instagram or Facebook. I only pulled those 2 platforms because those are our 2 biggest. And so we do have Twitter, we do post some things through YouTube, but Instagram and Facebook are our biggest, and there's a big difference between the 2. Our Facebook, I like to say, is our older generation. It's me included. It is our parents, our families, our grandparents, and then our Instagram has really proven to be our students. And so it's nice to see that breakdown because it really drives what content we're putting out on which platform. And so if you see here, our followers are up this year by 456. We're just shy of 6,000, which is our goal for the entire school year. So we have that for a summer goal. Our profile visits are at 80,000. And I want to say that out loud and make that known because when we talk about our website analytics, you're going to see a huge difference. And that's why I think it's important that we put a huge emphasis on social media because the reach is so much greater. And then our reach is 177,000. And this is for a time period from August to February. So 177,000 accounts have seen something that we have put out in the last 8 months. On your next page, now we're on this page, and maybe I started with this one because this is my favorite page. Because this is one of my favorite pieces of the job is to go out and to see all of these great things happening in class and get to publish that for our community. But those are just 6 of our top performing pieces that went out from August to February. And you can see the reach at the bottom. Now on this normal template, that's where our read more button goes for our staff and our parents. But for you guys, I wanted you to see the reach because just one post that we put out a few weeks ago reached 20,000 accounts. And so it's really important to see that like Facebook is where it's at for us right now. And these are all Facebook analytics. Our Instagram is a bit different. It's newer, so we just started it. But you can see there, we had a 20,000 reach on one, we had a 15,000 reach. So our platform is good and we have a large reach. And it is important to know that because then you can decide how to push out content and tell our story. So those are just some stories. And if you would like to read the whole post or see all of the pictures in the album, they are all up on our social media and you guys can follow that. Our next page is the website analytics, and this is all pulled from Google. This is very similar to the social media analytics, but this is clicks and views. I included the average session time, website users, and our top page views. And I did that because we're really looking and digging into that information to redesign our website this summer. And so we have quite a few website users which have gone up this year. So where everything has improved and gone up this school year except one piece, and I'm happy about why it didn't. And that is the next topic there, the average session time. And that has actually gone down a few percentage points. And that is good to me because that says our website's getting cleaner, it's getting quicker to find the information you're looking for, and you don't have to scroll and scroll and scroll to find what you're looking for. So our average time is about 2 minutes and 45 seconds on the website, which is also important to note because everything we put out is, we try to keep it brief, we try to keep it concise, and that's because people aren't spending more than 5 minutes on our website or our social media. And so that's a really good piece to look at. And then our top page views, we are using that to kind of move around some information on the website. And so in our next steps there on the right side of the page, we have a big redesign planned for this summer. I've already met with our website rep a few times, and we took this data and we are deciding now where to put pieces on the website that benefit our students, our families, our staff, that's easy to get to, and maybe we can get that session time down even a little bit more. And so that's something coming up in the spring. We're going to start that late spring, but really work on it this summer. And then we also have a new athletic page, and I wanted to include this on here because this is a huge piece that our student workers are doing, and they are building it just as our district website looks like, but it's solely athletic. So we have team photos, we have game photos, we have schedules, and all of the sorts. And currently, the district team is going through website edits to make sure by the time we do that redesign, everything is accurate and up to date. So that is our website. But I did want to note our website users, that is for the last 90 days, and that is 12,000. So we said our reach on Facebook was 177,000 accounts, and our website's 12. So more people are getting content from Garrard County Schools on social media than our website. So I think it is really important to put an emphasis on social media in the right way, to tell our story that way as well, because that's where our community, that's where they are looking. And then the last thing that I would like to talk about is our community engagement. These are just some of the events that the PR department has been working with or attending and planning. Of course, you guys all know about the KSBA regional event. That was just a great night that showcased our students' talents across the district. Really exciting, and even more exciting to plan another one. The EKU teacher recruitment fair wasn't short after that, and we got to go to EKU and meet over 100 student teachers or methods teachers that were getting ready to student teach and network with them. So we brought promotional materials, much like that video that you guys just watched. We had a one-pager that told all about Garrard County, and then popcorn favors that were a hit at the KSBA event. We just carried over into that again at the recruitment fair. Our winter and fall district family nights, we had our math night and our community career event. Our math night, our math teacher leaders did a wonderful job in planning and preparing informative sessions for our parents and hands-on activities for our kids. And it was a really cool night to see both sets of families and students learning at the same time. So we are going to do that kind of style for our spring literacy night. And then our community career event was really cool in the way that our elementary students got to experience that during the day, and they got to watch high school students showcase their pathway. And then at night, it was so neat to see that not only do we have our Pathway students there, but our community members are there to show that correlation between the skills you learn in high school to the community that we have here. And what was probably the best part for me to see is that we had GCHS graduates at community tables because they now work for those businesses, but they were students in that pathway at one time. And so that was pretty cool to show that, yes, what you're learning in these classes, you can apply in our community and really do something with them. So next up for community, we have 2 family nights coming up in late winter, maybe early spring, and then one late spring. We have our district health and wellness night, and that is just going to be a huge collaboration that focuses on fitness and nutrition. And then we have our literacy night that we're planning close to the end of school, just because we hope it serves as like a summer reading kickoff. And we'll be working with our teacher leaders in that area as well. And then in a few weeks, we have the spring EKU recruitment fair. And so we'll get to meet 150 more rising educators and hopefully still a few for employment. So that is just a little update from our world.
Questions?
I'm just not getting used to this design. You're not gonna make it too complicated, are you?
No. No.
Anybody got any other questions?
Good job, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sid. Great job. Appreciate
Really,
it.
students involved.
So we are now ready for construction update. While Mr. Milam was talking, I'll run this video that he's prepared for you as well.
So each month going forward, as Dr. Stoll said, we're going to try to provide you with just a short clip to kind of give you an overview of the progression of the project. We're still, of course, in the winter months. Progress is not as fast as anyone would hope it would be because the weather that we're dealing with, as Mr. Hart noted earlier, the inclement weather that we've been working in, and you're correct, that crew that was working on that grandstand was flawless in trying to stay at it. They had a deadline to meet, they needed to be moving on somewhere else, and they did not shy away from the task at hand, so we have to compliment them on that. Give you a quick update of where we've been in the last 30 days or so. Again, to lead off with the big piece is to complete the grandstand structure installation. Of course, less the press box. The press box, if you've noticed, is sitting there in the gravel lot beside the school where the band trailer is set. Right now, the ground is just too soft. We can't schedule a crane that's going to have to come in there and set that, but that's on a target, and it's not slowing any of the rest of the progress down. We've continued with the geothermal well field. We're at about 44 wells now out of the 53 that's required to be put in there. So that's progressing very well. In addition to that, we have, at your all's request and communication, we have removed the temporary cooling system from the school now and ended that reoccurring monthly cost for you. Being so far along on these geothermal wells, we have a good target of having that field and that system connected back to the building in early spring before we have any kind of normally increasing temperatures. We have continued with the CMU in the building B, which is at the far end of the grandstand, as you can see it there now. That is going to be your home locker room and the restroom. We are targeting completing that toward the end of this week. Hopefully next week we'll start seeing some roof joists going up on that building. We will start the CMU on building C, which is the one closer to the school that Dr. Stoll is circling there now, and start preparing that. And our goal is to, by next board meeting, that we'll be setting trusses on that building as well. Those are the two very important buildings for the construction of the project to ensure that we keep this thing moving forward for completion at the appropriate time. We have set all of the student parking light poles with the exception of the one that was damaged that you all are aware of, and that's it's in the process of being repaired, but the remaining, student parking lot poles have been, light poles have been set. And we've also graded and added topsoil on the left-hand side of the road that will end up being your final road going in, from the school up toward the office trailers that you can see there. As I said, in the next month, our goal is to start the underground storm drainage for the football field. We have the contractor staged and ready. They have material on site. It's just weather conditions that's preventing us to start digging in that. We have to have a very dry field before we start that. We don't want to create more problems than we do without working in a drier environment. As I said, we're going to start setting the roof trusses on building B. We will start working on the baseball and softball backstop foundations. We'll complete the CMU for building C, and we'll attempt to start setting the roof trusses, and then we'll start our goal is to have the brick. Our target is the middle of March, so maybe by next board meeting, we may have some brick on site that you guys will be able to start seeing the color of your buildings. Any questions? Comments? We'll take no questions as a positive, and thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Last item under my section is the personnel changes. There were a limited number of personnel changes, but they are attached there for your review.
All right, item 3 is the reports and the treasury report.
You all have had a chance to review that. Ms. Coffey is here tonight. If you have any questions, certainly you can reach out at any point in time. We have no concerns about where we are at this point right now, and hope to continue to stay at that spot.
And item B is bills as presented.
You all see those on a weekly basis, but we accumulate those for these meetings, and they are attached there. Again, anybody in the public who would like to see how the expenditures for the district are occurring, those are available for them to see as well.
All right. Item 4 is consent agenda, and if there's nothing that any board member would like to pull out, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as it is printed.
I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
I think Ms. Davis made the motion. I was going to say just one at a time, please. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Hurt, second. Anybody have any comments, questions on anything? Then all in favor, let me know by raising your hand. The consent agenda is approved, which brings us to the action agenda. And item A is to approve pay applications for high school student athletic fields and facilities.
Visible for you right now are the pay applications, a total of $1.685 million. And then you'll see the Trace Creek amount. And then we have a Clotfelter-Samakar design fee that we owe them, that they've allowed us to maintain this money for a period of time so that we can continue to draw interest. But this is money that is owed them. Everything that you see on this is budgeted and part of the bond program. No surprises here in any capacity. Happy to address any questions that anybody might have, but my recommendation is that you approve the pay applications for the GCHS student athletic fields and facilities.
I think Dr. Stoll, you've heard the recommendation. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Hurt made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Smith seconded. Any questions? Comments? All in favor, let me know by lifting hand. All board members were in favor. Item A is approved. Item B is to approve a change order for the geothermal wells at the high school project.
So most of you know that there was an incident that occurred on site. Didn't turn out the way we would have liked for it to turn out, but we made contact with some oil. And that meant we had to change what the drill process looked like. We had no option to do that. But in order to make that happen, there has to be a change order. And in front of you is the change order. The amount of that change order is $39,084. It's my recommendation that you approve this change order.
Thank you, sir. You've heard the recommendation. Do I have a motion?
I move we approve the change order from the gym on the west.
Thank you, Ms. Davis made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Hurt seconded. Anybody have any questions? All in favor, let me know by lifting hand. All board members were in favor. Item B is approved. Item C is to approve requests for proposals for naming rights at the high school project.
You all have been given some draft requests for proposals that have been developed and approved by your board attorney. We've made a couple of adjustments to those. We've asked you to take a look at it. If you all have adjustments, we will take those back to the board attorney, confirm that they are right. And then today, what we're asking for is once that occurs, we'd like to have your permission to place these on the street to determine naming for the football, soccer, track stadium, for the baseball field, and for the softball field. Again, happy to answer any questions that you might have. The drafts are attached. They may not be the final draft, so anybody who takes a look at them right now can get a pretty good idea of what we'll be asking for or offering, and then providing back to individuals. But this may not be what the final look is. When that happens, and it will be publicized, and we'll make that available to everyone that's out there. So it's my recommendation that you would approve these requests pending any adjustments for the proposal for naming rights at the GCHS project.
Thanks, sir. You've heard the recommendation. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Dr. Lamb made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Ms. Davis seconded. Did anybody have any, did y'all look over, did any changes you'd like to see made? Or did any of this look pretty good to
It
me?
looked like it's well covered to me, and, you know,
It's the time.
biggest thing that I think I would want there is that whatever transpires is a commitment to what we like.
All right, all in favor, let me know by lifting hand. All board members were in favor. Item C is approved. Item D is to approve first reading of a policy to add non-voting students to the Board of Education.
So we are considering the idea, presenting to you the idea of adding students from the high school as non-voting members to the Board of Education. We asked the Kentucky School Board Association to give us some draft policies, and they have done that. We've taken one of those and provided it as a possible first read. I would like to be clear here that tonight you're not going to take any action, but you're going to take a look at this. And if you'd like to make changes between now and next month, we will make those adaptations and have a final read or a second read in March. The hope is that after that, if you do approve this, we can go to the high school and ask them to go ahead and start the process of selecting or electing a student or students to be non-voting members of the Board of Education. They would have the right to participate in everything that you all participate in, except an executive session, and they would never have a voting right. But it would be a great opportunity to put some young people on this process and hopefully encourage them to be part of future boards, whether it's a Board of Education or a magistrate or the city council or something like that. So you've been given that draft policy. Certainly hope you spend some time looking at it and making recommendations back to us about how you would like that to look, and we'll get a final approval next month.
Okay, and this would help us to hear from the students' viewpoint. And if they could ask questions,
Yes, sir.
maybe make recommendations.
So I've shared this, I think, with all of you. And I think the public knows that we meet in one-on-one sessions the Friday before so that you all have a chance to see what's coming in a board meeting, to ask questions, things of that nature. We'd like to have them participate in that as well, so that they hear the information that is coming, be able to offer suggestions, recommendations, things of that nature. So again, we think it would be a great opportunity for students to experience something and a great opportunity for us to learn from them as well.
Thanks, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, read over it well and be prepared for the second reading at the March meeting. Item E is to approve 2025-26 school year.
In January, we came to you with the 24-25 school year calendar, and we told you that we would bring you then the 25-26 this month. It is here. It looks very similar to the 24-25 calendar. I will point out that once you do approve it, when the calendar committee meets next year, they'll have an opportunity to go back and make any adjustment if there was a need to. But our hope is that we'll get these things right and be far enough out that this will give good information to our parents. So it's my recommendation that you approve the 25-26 school calendar for Garrett County Schools.
Thanks, sir. You've heard the recommendation. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Dr. Lamb made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Hurt seconded. All in favor, let it be known by the lifted hand. Oh, I'm sorry.
Were there any questions? I just want to make sure that there were no
Well,
questions.
I looked at their
Okay,
faces and I didn't
gotcha.
see any question.
Is this the one that is made for leaving the primary?
No, so that's the 24-25.
Okay.
So Ms. Davis's question there, I'll go ahead and address that. 24-25 school year, well, let me back up. Every May, we are required by state law to have available our schools for voting purposes. And when that happens, we cannot have school. So we allow the May primary to be a day that we do not have school. In the 24-25 year, as of right now, there is no primary that has to occur. However, we've left that in for two reasons. One is, should something occur and there need to be an election, it would already be in our calendar. And second, if we were to have a snow day that we needed to make up, we feel like that would be one that we could do. If neither of those things occurred, I can't imagine that our folks would get upset if we bumped the end of school up by one day. So we don't feel like that would be a problem. This will just be a consistent thing so that we never have to make that adaptation. Did I say that correctly, Mr.
Yes,
Bowler?
sir.
Okay. Yes.
I'm sorry, I read you wrong. I apologize. All right, any other questions? All in favor, let me know by the lifted hand. The 25-26 calendar is approved. Item F is to approve the draft budget allocations for the site-based decision-making councils for the 24-25 school year.
You approved a draft budget last month for the regular district budget. This month, it's your time to approve budget allocations for SBDM. I do want to point out that these are drafts. They will be updated and changed as we get closer to May. And we have been very stingy with money for our principals. They won't even smile about that, I don't imagine. And so we've done that not knowing for sure what the legislative budget will look like. We want to make sure that we would rather come back and offer them something than to come back and have to take something away. So we've been very clear that that's what's going on. We've tried to be honest and prepare since July about that. So if you open the staffing allocation worksheets, you will see that it's less than what we did last year. But that doesn't mean that that's where it will end. My recommendation is that you approve the draft budget allocations for the SBDM councils for the 24-25 year.
Thanks, sir. You've heard the recommendation. Do I have a motion?
I reluctantly make the motion with the hope that it improves.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Richard Smith, second. Any further comments? All in favor, let me know by lifted hand. All board members were in favor. Item F is approved. Item G is to approve Garrett County Family Resource Center continuation program plan for 24-26.
So we got to highlight those folks a little bit earlier tonight, but each of our centers have to do a continuation program plan for the next 2 years. And we have two of those in front of you tonight. This first one is for the Garrett County Family Resource Center. That encompasses the center that helps support CDR and Paint Rig. We are quite content with what they have proposed here. So it's my recommendation that you approve this Family Resource Center continuation program for the 24 through 26 biennium.
Thank you, sir. You've heard the recommendation. Do I have a motion?
I move we approve the Garrett County Family Resource Continuation Program.
Thank you. Ms. Davis made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Dr. Lamb, second. Any comments or questions? All in favor, let me know by lifted hand. All board members were in favor. Item G is approved. Item H is to approve Lancaster Elementary Family Resource Center continuation program plan for 24 through 26.
This is the exact same thing, just for our other Family Resource Center that serves the Lancaster Elementary group. So it's my recommendation that you approve the LES Family Resource Center continuation plan for the 24-26 biennium.
Thank you, sir. You've heard the recommendation. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Hurd made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Davis seconded. All in favor, let it be known by the lifted hand. Item H is approved. Item I is to approve volunteer coaches for Paint Lake Elementary archery.
Paint Lake Elementary has made a request for 2 volunteer coaches for their archery team. That's no cost to you, obviously, with the volunteer, but we would like it to go through the process so that they are part of our staff in that capacity. So it's my recommendation that you approve 2 volunteer archery coaches for Paint Lake Elementary.
You've heard the recommendation. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve the volunteer coaches for PLA archery.
Mr. Smith made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second
Dr. Lamb seconded. Any questions or comments? All in favor, let me know by the lifted hand. All board members were in favor. Item I is approved. Item J is to approve KAA mini grant for the high school.
The Kentucky Advising Academic Mini Grant to support workforce readiness and post-secondary advising is a $5,000 grant that the high school can utilize. But anytime we have a grant, we need your approval for that. It's my recommendation that you approve this KAA mini grant for Garrett County High School.
Thanks, sir. You've heard the recommendation. Do I have a motion?
I move that we approve the KA mini grant for high school.
Okay, Ms. Davis made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, Mr. Hurt seconded. Can you use this, Mr. Anderson?
What?
Can you use this?
Yes.
Okay. All in favor, let me know by the lifted hand. All board members were in favor. Item I is approved. Item K is to approve SESC mental health access grant.
Southeast South Central Co-op, which is the co-op that our special ed staff utilizes, has a fairly massive grant for mental health. And one of the ways that they're utilizing that is to pay internships for counselors, school psychologists, people of that type. That's not normally something that happens. So they are making available to the co-op schools who would be interested in at least applying to see if somebody would fit that bill. So we met with staff last week. We feel like this is a great opportunity because there's a no cost to you, and we could be putting additional staff in front of our students to support the mental health needs that they have. We would actually like to request 2 from Southeast South Central. Whether we get 1, we don't know. Whether we get 2, we don't know. But we feel like it would be a good opportunity. So it's my recommendation that you approve the SESC Mental Health Access Grant application.
Thank you, sir. You've heard the recommendation. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
If Dr. Lamb made the motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Davis seconded. Do y'all have any comments or questions?
So you said grants, so you're saying we could have possibly have 2, so it'd be grants for this, or just
Could be.
could be? Okay.
The grant, though, is their grant.
Okay, so we're just.
So
asking
we're
to
applying
participate.
to
Okay.
the grant. We might get 2 people from
I
the
see.
grant.
Okay, any other questions? All in favor, let me know by the lifted hand. All board members were in favor. Item K is approved. Item L is to approve the short school day for Lancaster Elementary School students.
As you all know, anytime we come to you with this, we have a medical note that says that this is a recommendation, and all the appropriate steps have been taken through ARCs and documented in IEP. So it's my recommendation that you approve a shortened school day for an LES student.
Thank you, sir. You've heard the recommendation. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Dr. Lamb made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
You heard seconded. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Let me know by the lifted hand. All board members were in favor. Item L is approved. Item N is to approve court-appointed special advocacy spring training.
So CASA used our facilities in the fall for training. The facilities that they're using is the GEC. They came back to us and asked if they could do that again in the spring. We feel like it's a great service that we can provide. It doesn't cost us anything to do that. It doesn't interfere with our classes in any fashion. You see the dates in front of you there. It's my recommendation that you approve the CASA spring training at the GEC.
Thank you, sir. You heard the recommendation. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
All right, Mr. Hurt made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Ms. Davis seconded. Do y'all have any questions on? All right, all in favor, let me know by the lifted hand. All board members were in favor. Item M is approved. Now to item N, is to approve Garrett County EMS training at the GEC.
So unfortunately for the EMS staff, their building has still not quite been released to them, but they did have training that needed to occur. We can accommodate that. You will notice that it does occur during the school day, so it's a little bit different from CASA, but we can do that without it being a problem. I will have to admit to you, the first training was today, so I took a liberty of approving that for today, and it operated just fine. We did have a lot of questions about why we had so many cars parked. We were accused of having a party at the board office today. We were not, let me assure you, we were not, but we can accommodate this. And again, I think it's another opportunity for us to help our community. And anytime we can do that, I think we should take advantage of it. So it's my recommendation that you approve the Garrard County EMS training at the Garrard Education Center.
It's already took place.
Just one of them.
All right, you've heard the recommendation. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Dr. Lamb made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Smith, second. All in favor, let me know by lifted hand. All board members were in favor, you're off with up.
Yes, okay, nice.
Which brings us to item 6.
No, sir.
No,
It brings
Oh,
us
wait,
to
wait,
item
oh.
O.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Oh, thank you, I'm sorry.
No,
I
not a
didn't
problem.
make a note.
Not a problem. So we do have item O now. This is the one that you allowed us to create earlier. It's the GMS JAG MOU. We're glad that they wanted to continue with us. And again, it's a great service for our kids and for our schools. So it's my recommendation that you approve the GMS JAG MOU for the 24-25 school year.
Thank you, sir. You've heard the recommendation. Do I have a motion?
I move that we approve this.
Ms. Davis made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Dr. Lamb seconded. Do you have any questions or comments? All in favor, let me know by lifted hand. Item O is approved, and you're still off the hook. Which brings us to item 6 in adjournment. Mr. Smith made the motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Hart seconded. All in favor, lift your hand. All board members were in favor. We are adjourned. Thank you all for being here, for sticking with us. And you as well that are watching on social media. Thanks, sir.